Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to episode 4 of the Thumbcast, presented to you by us here at Team Thumbs. My name is Andy. I'm joined by Exile.
You.
Who wants to be called Rob, I will remember. And I'm also joined by, who's the other guy again?
Graham spelled incorrectly.
Graham spelled incorrectly.
That's how I like to say it. It's how I like to spell it. I like to be different.
I mean, I hope you like to say it better than I just described it as there. I kind of forgot how to speak English halfway through that sentence. So, ladies and gentlemen, in today's episode of the Thumbcast, we are not rating platinum trophies. Oh, who would have thought? Who'd have thought? Mostly because there's only 3 of us in Team Thumbs and we've rated each other's platinums, so we're running out of things to do. Now, this topic needs some describing because we're talking about games that deserve, originally, the video might be called, the podcast might be called, Games That Need a Remaster. There is a difference between remaster and remade. A remaster is a boost of graphics. The game techniques are exactly the same. They take the original game code and they remaster it. A remake is where they completely remake the game. So we're counting both of them in this conversation. So before you get all keyboard warrior angry, just to put it out there. And we're going to start, ladies and gentlemen, news to spin, with Andy's quickfire round. I have before me 15 games, and I'm going to run through them. This is what the internet says should be remade. So the internet is right. The internet is always right. I love to say we got these suggestions from our Twitter page, but when I tweeted it, nobody actually responded. So go follow us on Twitter, twitter.com @TeamThumbs1. Make sure you go follow us. Are you ready, boys? For the top.
Yeah.
Okay, I don't want any description about the game. I don't want anything. If you haven't played it, to say I haven't played it. Just a yes or a no if it should be remade or remastered. We're counting them the same. Game number 1, Assassin's Creed 1.
Yes.
Yes.
Game number 2 is technically a trilogy. It's 007 games from the PS2, Agent Under Fire, Nightfire, and Everything for Nothing.
No.
I haven't played it.
I mean, is that a question? Are you asking me if you played it? I haven't played it.
What was it?
I'm
What was it?
Burgundy?
was that a question?
Wait, what game collection?
007. It was James Bond, Agent Under Fire,
Oh, right.
007,
Yeah.
Nightfire, Everything
Not played
for Nothing. Great games. I say yes for them.
I played N64, GoldenEye, that was it.
How did you know what game number 3 is? GoldenEye.
Yes.
GoldenEye's already been remade.
Well, I just got these off the internet.
All right. Okay. Then no.
Yes.
All right. Elder Scrolls. That's Oblivion, Daggerfall, and Morrowind.
Yes.
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 Mainly because Oblivion's the best one out of a lot.
Oh, I love Morrowind, so I'm up for a Morrowind remake.
There you go. How about a triple pack? Because Elder Scrolls 6 is a long way away. Final Fantasy 6 and 9.
Never
Yes.
played it.
Wow, I'm missing out. All right. Half-Life.
Never played it.
Yes.
I've never played it either. Was that the one with... No, we're not talking about these games. Grand Theft Auto 1 and 2. So the first 2 Grand Theft Auto games.
Yes, but only if they keep the top-down view.
That's funny, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Wait, did I say we were discussing these games? No. No, I did not.
Yeah, Graham.
Soz.
Salt. Who says salt anymore?
I do.
Graham does.
Wow, that was sick.
Neat.
Where am I? Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic.
Yes.
I haven't played it.
Wow.
Yes.
Time
yes.
Splitters.
Yes.
Yes.
Oh.
Time Splitters, yes.
Epic Mickey, which was a Disney game.
Haven't
Yes.
played it.
It's a really random one on the list. It was on the Wii. Star Wars Battlefront 1 and 2, and I'm not talking about the new release, like the original PS2 Battlefront games, 1 and 2.
Haven't played.
I would say yes. Sly Cooper.
Yes.
Oh, I'm glad you read Fallout 1 and 2.
Yes. Yes.
And the Brotherhood of Steel 1.
Yes.
Dino Crisis.
I haven't played it.
No.
No. Oh, okay, we're not discussing it. And the last game on my quickfire round is Sonic the Hedgehog.
No.
No.
Mm,
No.
no.
Wow,
I think it's good. I think it's good how it is.
It's a matter of opinion. I wasn't trying to change your mind.
No.
Promise.
I'm good. Maybe. No. We're not discussing. So.
Do you remember Sonic 3D? That made you feel sick.
Yeah.
On the-
I do remember Sonic.
Like, give you like repaired. Thank you for playing Andy's quickfire round, and on to the main event. Who wants to start us off? Because we've kind of got. We'll be honest, right? We had this great elaborate plan that Graham lost, so therefore we're kind of going off the cuff a little bit. So we should just go around the group and start with a game that we'd like to remake. We'll talk about one each, and then we'll see how much time has passed, because we're about 5 minutes in, and viewer attention is going to go down if they hear my voice too much more. Who wants to start?
I will.
Please
Straight
welcome
in
to the
there.
floor,
Wow,
Rob,
nice.
a.k.a. Exile of Sin. The game you would like to be remade is...
Eye of Judgment for PlayStation 3.
I'm
Tell us
Googling
about
as
the
we
game.
speak.
Where's it from?
Where's it from?
I just
I don't know,
googled
made
eyebrow.
That sounds about right for you. Right, so Eye of Judgment was a iToy game for the PS3 made in 2007. I couldn't tell you who makes it. So it's a card battling game, very much like Yu-Gi-Oh! Or Magic the Gathering. When you buy it, you get the iToy, you get the game, you get the game mat, or the card mat thing, you get your starter deck, you get a booster deck. You can go out and buy extra booster decks. And so the iToy faces down onto this pad, and the cards have these little like green triangles and then like a little reader thing on it. So when you play your cards onto this mat, the camera picks it up and then creates the image like you would expect it in a game up on the screen. So it's like playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When you see your cards and whatnot battling in the middle, that's what you've got on the screen.
I like the holograms from Yu-Gi-Oh! That's cool.
Yeah.
I'm honestly surprised I never played this game, because it looks like my type of game. And I'm pretty sure I had one of my toy things. I've just seen as well, it was Japan Studios that made it. It was available on PSP, which is probably why nobody's really heard of it, because if it was available on PSP...
didn't have the full experience,
full,
it didn't have a camera or anything.
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, the PSP didn't really have an experience at all on the PSP, did you? So
No,
it's hardly surprising.
Imagine why you poop.
There's got to be videos about this. I'm going to look this up later. This sounds really interesting, though. It sounds really cool.
It's definitely the game that you guys would have played. Well, but you hadn't played it. It's definitely your sort of game.
Wow, it's by the studio. Japan Studio made The Last Guardian, and Shadow of the Colossus. They make some pretty good games.
The graphics look really nice. What was it, PS3 you said?
PS3, yeah, 2007.
Original VR, the iToy, wasn't it?
Yeah, it would very well work very well.
Yeah.
Just try and get my English correct.
It's like a proper 2000s webcams kind of... It was the round one, wasn't it? Was it round?
No,
it had
was it square?
Bits outsides.
Rectangular.
It's kind of, a circle in the middle, but then it had like the little speaker bar, and you use that to clip it into up. Yeah,
it was. Yeah, I remember what it was. So, yeah, I remember distinctly on the PS3, because that PS3 came out. I would have been. Oh no, I would have been fairly.
2007, you would have been like 5.
5?
You're the youngest.
I was 16. No, I wasn't. Was I? How old? When was I born? 91. So I was that amount of years old. 16. And I remember always complaining that there was no good card games for the PlayStation 3. Because I come from the era of Yu-Gi-Oh! Duelist of the Roses on the PS2 and stuff like that. And it's like, there's no good games on the PS3 for card games. And I was wrong. I was wrong the whole time.
I have a PS3. I think I should get this game.
You'll be able to play it solo. You won't be able to play it online because services are down.
Really?
Yeah, of course, the servers will be down,
Yeah. Well, it only sold like 300,000 copies worldwide.
Yeah. That's a shame.
Yeah.
That's a shame.
I think in all honesty, it's a game, if it came out now, especially with VR, it would do very well. I think it was just well ahead of its time.
Right.
Get on it, Japan Studio. Do you know what it reminds me of? It kind of reminds me of, it reminds me of two things. So, by looking at it, it kind of reminds me of those toy games that you get. You know, you've got Disney Infinity, and you've got, what's the other one with Spyro in it? Skylanders. It kind of, was it competing with them, do you reckon? Was it out at the same time?
I think it was out before, 2007.
Oh, that's cool.
It's just Skylanders relatively new, isn't it?
Skylanders was out before.
Skylanders was PlayStation 3 as well.
All right, 2011 that came out, so it's a good 5 years after the.
Yeah.
Good 5 years. So I like the description of kind of before its time.
Yeah.
But unfortunately, I think one of the key things that studios look for with remakes is, does it have a fan club? You'd probably have to say no. Did it make a lot of money?
No.
Probably not.
But has it got the potential? Because Yu-Gi-Oh games and such are selling well.
Yeah, can it compete with other card games on the PS4 and 5? When you think about what other card games are on PS5 and 4, is there
I'll say
any?
yes.
Yu-Gi-Oh, is that it?
I reckon it can
Yu-Gi-Oh has got the cult following of people buying the decks and the cards, as well as the people like myself who like the show. Whereas this is just kind of going off its own muster, isn't it? So I think that's why Yu-Gi-Oh does so well.
But you can buy decks and stuff for this game.
You can buy the decks and stuff. Yeah, it's got that going for it. Yeah, it's got that going for it. But it needs a show. It needs a TV show.
Do you think card games need TV shows to be successful?
I think it certainly helps. Pokemon, Yu-Gi-Oh,
Magic the Gathering, the most successful card game of all time.
Granted, that's the exception, but there are other card games that I've seen come and go, and just
Uno.
Hey, why? Hey, let's not start bad mouthing Uno. Not when I'm in the car.
I'm not. I'm saying that hasn't got a TV show. Maybe that should have a TV show.
I see what you mean. It's a whole different conversation, but that's a good shout as a game that's been remade. I kind of want to play it. So when all this virus stuff is over, the pandemic, all round to Scotland to play it.
Yeah, do it. I'll get a new couch just for the occasion.
Or we could just play it on PlayStation.
Nah, we're doing it in person.
We're Team Thumbs. We're console gamers.
Yeah, we can still play on the console, but that's a whole other Thumbcast. That
it's
why
free
games, not local multiplayer anymore. That's a whole other Thumbcast. But anyway,
blimey,
I could go on a rant about that. I can tell you that much, but I'm not going to. Very good.
Hey, should we play Lego games online?
Oh yeah, let's do it. Let's play it tonight. Oh yeah.
Nice choice. I love card games. I love card games, so I would be definitely up for playing that.
Yeah,
Graham, let's spin the conversation towards you. What game have you chosen?
Yeah, so I don't think either of you two have played this game. So I had 3 games that came to mind, and I'll maybe give them an honourable mention at the end. But the one game that won, or the game that won over the other 2, was a game called Black and White for the PlayStation, and it was made by Lionsgate. Have you played it, XL?
Yeah, I played Black and White and Black and White 2 on PC.
I never played Black and White 2. The problem with Black and White right now is I've got both of them. I've actually still got the copies. I actually got them from a charity shop a couple of years back, and I was all eager to play them. But you can't play them on modern PCs without... You can, but you have to jump through a million hoops to do it, and it's just not worth it. Like, by the time you've done it, you're 40 years old, and you're like, oh, it's probably been remade now, or whatever. It's not going to be remade. If it was going to be remade, it would have been remade by now. But
there's a bit of a difference in that, isn't there? Because if it's when you're 40 years old, that's 5 years for me, but it means it's going to take Andy 11 years.
It's a while for me, that.
And it's going to take you 5 years, so you can just tell him what to do. And then...
just sit there playing it for 6 years while I wait for him to turn 40.
But yeah, Black and White. So just if anybody's not played Black and White, as I say, it was on the PC. I'm trying to find out when it came out. I'm just trying to have. I think it was around 2001. Yeah, 2001.
30th of March 2001.
Lionhead Studios, not Liongate. And I think they're 2 different companies. It was Lionhead Studios that released Black and White, and the concept is really cool. So you are a god, basically.
Zelda.
What are you saying?
It's the same studio that done Zelda. Fable.
Oh, is it? Fable? Yes, it is. Yeah, it's the same people that made Fable, because that's what initially intrigued me about Fable when I found out that Lionhead made it, and that's why I've initially bought. Anyway, it doesn't matter about Fable right now, but that is a game that could have been remade, to be fair. But anyway, Black and White is a game where you are a god. You have what's called a creature, who is your pet, and the creature develops as you develop. So if you're a good god, your creature will start to look really good. You'll start to inherit good, like it'll get nice light fur and stuff. If you're a bad god, i.e. you're killing people left, right, and center, sacrificing them, your creature starts to develop satanic like horns and stuff like that. So he develops as you develop. It's your job to teach your creature. So if your creature goes, and this does happen by the way, if your creature was to go and poop on somebody and kill them, you would then, as its owner, have to slap it in the face a few times to tell it off. And then you would have to take it to where it should be pooping and like pet it and tell it that's where you poop. So if you tell it to go and poop in a farm, then he's helping the yield of the wheat and stuff like that. And it's really, really cool. There's so many like hidden quests and things to do in this game. Oh man, I love Black and White so much, and I really, really wish I could play it right now. One of the cool concepts was, you've got the whole good versus evil thing, Black and White, right? So you've got the whole good versus evil. You actually have the devil and the angel on your shoulders that give you different options and stuff to do, and they chat to you, and there's banter going back and forth between them, and it's just a really, really cool game. It's just so difficult to play now, and it's just not worth doing it. But I would like a remake. Yes, please, like a remake.
But they're clearly going to be listening to this video or podcast. So I just thought it won quite a lot of awards.
It's a brilliant game. Yeah, it's a really good game.
Looking at it, can I just confirm what you said? If your monster poos on someone and kills them, did you say that?
Yeah. Your creature,
I want to play it.
Your creature's massive. It's not like a small.
I was imagining like a Digimon, like a small rookie.
No.
It starts off quite small. It starts off like a tall human, maybe taller, and then as you go through the game, it ages and it grows massive, and the game gets so difficult. You end up having to fight against other gods and stuff, and the story is really compelling. How far did you get in it, Rob?
Oh, I can't remember. It was that 2001? I would have been 15. Yep, I'm old. And I don't know. I used to like restart it a lot.
I did as well.
Can I
do
that? Definitely. Just experimenting with being good and evil.
But it was way ahead of its time, I thought. There were other games tried to do similar things. They didn't pull it off very well. But this game, even I can picture myself sitting down and playing it today, even with the current graphics, and I probably would still enjoy it.
I'm intrigued. I'd never even heard it before, so I mean, it completely passed me by. Be intriguing. Definitely one to
try and
read more into, but it needs to come out on a console before I'd even be interested nowadays, I think. So,
I think consoles could handle it now. They used to be able to have the movement of the mouse so you could launch like a person across the island into water or into fire and stuff. I don't think you'd be able to do that with a console so well, not unless they did it like right trigger launched somebody or something like that.
Yeah. Are Lionhead Studios still around?
That's a good question.
Well, apparently Fable 4 is somewhere in the making, so I'd imagine, unless they've sold it on.
It doesn't. They went out of business in 2016.
Oh, rude.
So. Microsoft took over Fable, I guess.
Yeah, this is another thing about remakes and remasters and stuff, is that a lot of these original, like we're talking obviously about games that were from embarrassingly probably before some people were born, and a lot of the studios just don't exist anymore.
I'm trying to think of other studios that have went down the pan. like since.
All right.
Well, you've got.
We'll save that one. People are getting too happy again, shall we? It's like, everybody's in a good mood, right? Which companies went broke?
Game studios that went down the pan.
If you'd like to see that, then let us know. Then we'll make it. We'll do anything for likes. I promise. Anything. Anything.
I'm naked right now. I don't know.
Hey, that's just 2021. Whatever year we're in. Does that mean it's my turn? I think
yes,
it does. My turn. Oh, I really struggle with this because there's so many games that I want to see remade. But I'm gonna go with the one, Croc, Legend of Gobos.
I knew you were going to
go. I knew that was going to be a game.
It's got to be remade. Like, it's got to be remade. All right. If you like, Crash Bandicoot gets all this credit for being a revolutionary game and platformer. Croc, Legend of the Gobos was just as revolutionary. And I think it was released after, a couple of years after Crash Bandicoot. Fine, Croc might have copied Crash Bandicoot, but it is so good. Like, you play as a little Croc. You play... No, it's what the teacher said when she saw your homework. But, it's amazing. Like, an early platformer, the bosses were absolutely ridiculous. The only thing that always sticks in my mind was, well, firstly, you remember Blockbuster. Have we spoken about Blockbuster before in one of these? I feel like we have.
I believe we
have. Have we?
I don't know. I can't remember. But we got a Blockbuster. It's like, right, let's rent a game for the week. Because, like, Croc, we're buying Croc, we're borrowing it. And you just play, like, back in the renting era, you'd play like, the first 5 levels over and over again because you'd rent it, give it back. And the memory cards were so small that you'd have to delete the game saver menu. But what the boss that always sticks in my mind is a big green monster. I can't remember what he's called. But he turned this duck, like a small innocent duck, into this like boxing type of duck. But it had really squeaky feet as it was walking around. It kept getting stuck to the floor. Honestly, if you like platformers, then that is the way to do it. Now, the problem with Croc is we were just talking about it. It was developed by a company called Argonaut Software, which no longer exists.
They sound really familiar.
Yeah, they don't exist anymore. I think, I don't know, 2007, which I was about to say wasn't that too far away, but it was quite a long time ago now. But I think the previous president of Argonaut Studios owns the rights to Croc, because I feel like I googled it years ago.
I was going to ask that. I wonder who owns the rights.
I was like, oh man, who owns the rights? So they're selling them cheap. I'll buy the rights and get it remade. But I think it's the owner that owns them, and it just comes down to that thing again where you just can't get the rights anymore. So that owner says one day, let's remake Croc, and I think he was interviewed a year or so ago, and he said, don't rule it out, which means nothing.
Yeah, they really always say that. They always say
that. But I will say that when I was at EGX a few years ago, before Kingdom Hearts 3, when the Kingdom Hearts 3 demo was released, I got interviewed by Square Enix as kind of, what did you think of the demo? And they said, have you got any questions? And I said, oh, are you planning on remaking Final Fantasy VIII anytime soon? And the guy said, don't rule it out. And about a year and a half later, they produced the worst remaster of a game in history. But they still did it. They still did it.
Just because of you. They weren't going to do it.
Because of me.
They weren't going to do it
because of me. Years of nagging for Final Fantasy VIII to be remastered resulted in a half-assed job in Square Enix part. So I'm hoping years and years of nagging results in a half-assed remake of Croc Legend of the Gobbos. Like, it fits so well with that series. Like, if you, like, Crash Bandicoot and Ignited Trilogy. No, wait, whoa, I combined Spyro and Crash then. Crash Insane Trilogy sold really well. Spyro Ignited sold really well. Croc Legends of the Gobbo would sell really well. I'm saying, preach, sisters.
So what was your abilities? So I get you were a little crocodile.
You could walk backwards. You could walk forward. You could walk left and right. You could spin and quapow. I think it was like a like with a tail, so you could whack people with a tail. And that Fat Pikachu was it.
Nice.
That was your powers. And you also had the famous,
by the way.
You had the famous PlayStation 1 camera that tried to screw you over.
Oh yeah, you gotta love that.
What more do you need? Maybe a better camera, but apart from that, like, it's so fun. It's just fun. I just like fun games. Games aren't made to be fun anymore. They're too serious nowadays. It's like got really good graphics. I'm not playing it then if it's not got good graphics. Like
Worms Rumble?
Yeah, great graphical games. But I think there's a market. Hey, if Tasmanian Tiger can get a bloody remaster, then Croc Legend of the Gobbos can.
Tasmanian Tiger, and what's that other one where you're like a flying squirrel or something? Bubsy got a remake.
Bubsy the Bobcat.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's what he is. I know he hovers. He floats, doesn't he? Or
glides.
Yeah. If that can get a remake, then Croc can.
Yeah, but if I had to choose one game now, and I said, Andy, like the game developer gods come out of nowhere. Like, I don't know what happens, what they look like. I'm imagining like comic book guy from Simpsons, probably what they look like. But I said, Andy, one game, Tell me one game you want to remade, and I'll remake it with a click of the finger. Boom. Croc Legends of the Goblins is the one that I would suggest. I would definitely suggest it. I still own the PS1 version, but the PlayStation 2 we've got doesn't work with PS1 games, so I can't play it.
No, that's a shame.
It's really sad. So I don't want a PlayStation 5 now. I just want a PlayStation 1. Play all
I think
these
I've
games.
got a PlayStation 1 somewhere.
Just play
And a
Croc.
PS2, and a PS3, and a PS4, and a PS5.
All right, boomer. Is that the right? Is that the right saying? I don't know. Am I using that right? Boomer.
No, because technically I'm a millennial.
All right, millennium.
Millennium. All right, Millennium.
So I'm Robbie Williams for apparently now. I'm Robbie Williams. Millennium.
I hate you, Millennium. I do.
Millennials. That's what I meant. I mean, technically, I think we're all millennials.
Yeah.
Technically.
We are indeed.
Yeah.
Technically. We can do one more game each. Let's do one more game each, and then we'll do like...
I used to think, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you. I used to think being a millennial meant that you were born on the millennium, so the year 2000. And then only recently I found out this was not the case, and apparently I'm a millennial. I was like, oh, this took me back. I was like, oh, all right.
Did it feel the same as when they changed the star signs?
Or when Pluto stopped becoming a planet.
You'll be a boomer in our hearts.
We'll be. Sorry, one more game each. One more game each.
We'll do one more game each, but this one's going to be quicker.
Quick.
And then we'll do like an honorable mention round. Back to
I went first, so I suppose I'll carry on going first. I'm not going to choose a game that was second on my list because that's already been mentioned.
Correct.
But funnily enough, it was Fable.
Fable, all right. Hey.
Yeah. So the third game on my list was Chocobo Racing.
Oh yeah, I never played it. I know what it is though.
I know what it is. I never played it, but that's the one you've still got a copy of, isn't it?
I've got a copy of, yeah.
And it's like worth £1 million.
It's expensive for a PAL version, yeah.
It's actually worth £1 million.
No, I think it's like 200 or something stupid. Anywhere between 120 and 200.
200 million. What?
Yeah.
200 million.
It's like a Dr. Evil.
That was, I don't know what that was. It was gonna be Dr. Evil, and then it turned into like
some sort of like
combination of Pinky and Dr. Evil.
Chocobo Racing was a 3D, well, obviously, karting game where you play as Chocobo, Chubby Choc, and then other characters from the Final Fantasy's franchise. Up until Final Fantasy VIII, because that's when it came out.
And then it doesn't know anything because it's never seen the rest of them.
You are correct.
Fair enough. Okay.
You'll see the Final Fantasy VIII remaster and like just cry. So bad.
You had to do so many races and whatnot, and then you unlock Cloud, which was a secret character, and then you play through it and do it with Cloud to unlock Squall. And that's as far as it went.
It's like a 90s version of Boyzone, even though Boyzone were around in the 90s. Graham.
Right, number 2 on my list
Number 2
was Soul Reaver series, which was on the PlayStation. I think it was PlayStation. I don't think it was PlayStation 2. I'm pretty sure it was PlayStation.
It was PlayStation?
Yeah. So
Legacy of Kain?
I played the Legacy of Kain. And it was a long time ago that I played it, but I just remember it being absolutely awesome. And I remember being able to do something in that game that I'd never done in any other game before. Because Kain, I believe it's Kain was the main character, the vampire. He walked around with this like spear thing, and you could lob it at your enemies from afar. And I'd never seen that before, and that's always just stuck with me. So you lob it at them, and then you go and tear it out of their chest after you kill them with it. But
I don't want to alert you, but apparently Legacy of Kain might be being remade.
What? Oh,
yeah,
man.
I had to Google it because I was sure I'd seen something on this. Yeah, Legacy of Kain Soul Reaver is apparently getting a PlayStation 5 remake.
Well, I'm a happy man. I'm a happy man if that's the case.
So if you could now wish for Croc.
Andy, what's your number 2?
the game you're talking about there, it looks very familiar, but I don't think I ever played it.
You may
Was
have
it-
played it on a demo disc or something, because that was a thing on the
do you
PlayStation, wasn't it?
Remember those?
Do you remember demo discs?
I love demo discs, man.
Oh, they were so good. I mean, they were like buying a brand new game. You get
Yeah.
like 7 demos on them.
I played Spyro 2, the demo disc, on the demo disc for months before I had Spyro 2. And I was nagging my parents for Spyro 2 for months, and I eventually got it for my birthday, and I was absolutely delighted.
I feel like it's only the Switch that does demos nowadays, isn't it?
PlayStation's got a whole demo category in its PSN store.
Shut the front door, does it?
It's not the same, though. It's not the same as a demo disc that you got from a magazine.
No, but you still get it for demo.
You do get the demo, yeah. Because Crash had a demo, didn't it? The new Crash game had a demo.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we start like reminiscing over the PlayStation 1 boot up sound as well, what game am I going to pick? There's so many. I think I've got to go with, since we're PlayStation boys and girls, boys, I think,
And pick up.
I've got to go with Toy Story 2.
Nice.
Buzz Lightyear to the rescue. Honestly, I miss the days where, and this is very like reminiscent, but I miss the days where a movie would come out, like a Disney film like Tarzan or Hercules or Toy Story or anything like that, and a game would be released with it, and them games were just awesome, like The Lion King, like Aladdin and things like that. What was that? Oh my god. Like hundreds of 90s kids just kind of like did that sound bit.
I don't know what that was. It's a game booting up or something.
It's a boot up sound of the PlayStation 1.
Yeah.
But I miss the days where Disney made good games. I mean, obviously there's been Kingdom Hearts. I still don't think Kingdom Hearts 3 is representative of what Kingdom Hearts 3 should have been. Different conversation. But I miss the days where Disney made good games, and I think Toy Story 2 for me, possibly the best game I played at that time. I think it was better than Toy Story 3, which came out on the PlayStation 3. Better than the Sega version of Toy Story. Because that was a side
That's
scroll.
terrible.
Which is it was alright, but Toy Story 2, I think you played as Buzz Lightyear, who's probably my favourite Toy Story character as well. I think that was,
you got to get all your things.
yeah, go down in the basement. I think that was probably the best. So I would say Croc Legend of the Gobbos, they can't manage that, Toy Story 2. Thank you.
Thank you.
Right, quick fire round again. So we're not going to talk about these games because time is getting on. But Rob, is there any other games that you have brought to mind? Kind of like say the name and then like half a sentence of why you think it should be remade.
Not off the top of my head.
What game was that?
What console was that for?
Was
I
that
literally wrote down 3 games.
not
So,
on
Fable.
the top of my head? Video game. Is it a video game? Is it a video game?
Fable.
If you Google that, then you get the Kylie Minogue "Can't Get You Out of My Head" song, and then top 10 games you can play in your head by yourself. That's such a lonely existence. I'll have a look at that later.
Console.
I'll have a look at that later. Just in case. Graham.
Yeah.
Any
the other
honourable
one
mentions?
we've mentioned it was Sly Cooper.
Yeah,
And I just think it would look really good on a modern console. They don't even have to change the story or anything. Just update the graphics a bit, bring it out. Jobs are good, and I'd buy it.
I mean, play on PS Now. It's great. It's great. Check out the Top Game. I can't remember what it's called. Did I make a video about PS Now? Is it out? Yeah, that's right. It's on the channel. There's PS Now games. Go check it out. Any other honourable mentions you want to throw to the front? Give it another thought. Put in the cannon. Put in
Simpson
the
Hit and
people
Run.
headspace.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good shout. I never even thought of that. That would be absolutely amazing.
I love
That would be
Simpsons Hit and Run, and to have an open world Simpsons game again, oh man, that would be awesome.
Yeah, sort it out, Disney. Since you on
Own
Simpsons
Fox. Yeah.
now. What are mine? What are my honourable mentions? Star Wars: The Force Unleashed is definitely one.
Nice.
Yeah, good choice. Good one.
Does anybody remember Mickey and Donald's World of Illusion?
Oh,
there you
yeah.
go. I love a remake of that. And then there's also like Castle of Illusion as well.
Which was just Mickey.
Yeah, there was a game. I know Castle of Illusion did come out on PS3, but it was just a port. There's a game called Quackshot with Donald Duck as well, which was absolutely fantastic. I've talked about Toy Story. I've talked about Croc. Do you remember the what was it called? Star Wars Jedi Power Battles?
No.
I remember it, but I never played it.
Yeah, Star Wars The Phantom Menace and Revenge of the Sith as well, really good games. Like the Tobey Maguire era Spider-Man games, the original Spider-Man. There's a lot I would like to be remade, as you can probably tell.
Just remake all the Spider-Man games with the new Spider-Man graphics, and I'd be happy.
Oh, can you imagine? Hey, look who managed to get Spider-Man into another conversation. Oh man. The best game of all time will never be silenced. Apart from the fact that this podcast, Thumbcast, is about to end. So thank you very much, ladies, gentlemen, squirrels, gerbils. I hear we've got a good gerbil fan base. What do you guys make of that?
They won't leave me alone. They won't
Like,
leave me
all
alone.
the time. Every time I look up on my Instagram that I never use, I'm like, oh, blimey, more gerbils.
More gerbils following me. What's going on?
What is it?
We have an
Follow me.
Instagram.
Nah, I have a personal one, but Team Thumbs doesn't.
Well,
We can make one. Who knows? And we'll just post weird. This has gone on a weird tangent. This has gone on a weird tangent. A very weird tangent.
I didn't realise
Thank you very much.
about this.
Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. This has been an absolute pleasure. Thanks to Rob and Graham for joining the Thumbcast today. Let us know in the comments down below if there's any of the topics you would like us to discuss. And of course, if you would like us to rate your Platinum Trophy list, then just send us your send an English sentence this way. Send your PSN name in the description down below. Be sure to share us with a friend or two and an enemy. I like enemies, so share me with the enemies. Graham, any final words?
No, I think you said it all buddy.
Rob, any final words?
Yeah, if you do what he said, but write it down in your comments and not the
Comment
description,
section.
because you're not able to write in the description.
I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just the pretty hips of the production. I bring the good gerbil. No, I'm not even going to finish that sentence.
You bring the eyeballs.
No, I was about to say I bring the good gerbil booty to this channel, but it's end it. Cut it now. Thanks for watching, everyone. No, listening. I don't know. End. Stop. End this torture.